Today, we're talking about cringe, something so awkward or embarrassing that it makes you really uncomfortable to watch. And I was on Facebook the other day, which I try not to do, but I saw this post from Alex Becker. If you don't know who he is, he's an online business owner. He's got a YouTube channel. He's interesting. He's a little out there. He says some really smart things sometimes. And I really liked what he had to say about being cringe. And it perfectly captures what I see with my clients and my students trying to do YouTube every day. He says this is cringy, it is cringe as hell, but that's why I have wealth more than anybody else, right? The top percent. Then he dropped this truth bomb. He said, when you start anything, you will be cringe. To get through the good stuff, you have to go through that icky beginner period. And he said that people's main goal in life is to avoid being cringe, that they're so busy, they're so focused on protecting their ego and not looking like a mess up that they never actually try anything. And I love the way he put it. He said, very few people can put themselves in a position where they appear weak or silly, yet keep moving forward. Those that can, they take over the world. To be someone like Tom Brady, you first have to get on the football field. You have to throw the ball like a 5-year-old while everybody else on the sideline judges you. Then you analyze, you get better, and you keep going day after day until you're really, really good. And his bottom line, what he said, be cringe, put yourself out there, let people laugh at you. There's nothing shameful about wanting to become something greater and trying like hell in public to do it. Ladies, I'm gonna give it to you straight. Being cringe might actually be the best gift you give yourself. By the way, I'm Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist and coach who's worked with over 2,000 women creators over the last 8+ years. And I get this unique front row seat to watch people be cringe every single day. And what I want to tell you today is embrace the cringe. Be the cringe. Because without going through that cringy phase, you're never going to get where you actually want to go. You're going to look stupid on YouTube when you start. We all do. Every single successful person you admire was once terrible at what they're now known for. I've seen the first videos from all my clients. They're messy, awkward, full of mistakes. But you know what? That's not just okay. It is absolutely necessary. And I'm going to be playing them here as B-roll for the rest of the video. Some of my clients' first videos. So it's a reminder that you've got to start somewhere, even if it's cringe. Think about anything else that requires skill. My girls do gymnastics. And I watch these little athletes fall off the beam, mess up their routines, mess up their vault over and over and over and over again. We go 2 to 3 times a week, 2 hours of practice, right? That's how you get good at anything, through a whole lot of not being good at it at first. I will acknowledge that here's what makes social media a little bit different and scarier. It's all happening in public. When you mess up learning to drive, only your driving instructor sees it, and hopefully not any other people on the street. When you mess up on YouTube, potentially hundreds or thousands of people could see it. Alex Becker did mention that. You are failing and being cringe publicly, but the rewards of having a public platform are massive. And plus, we live in this instant gratification world where if we don't see immediate results, we think that there's something wrong or it's not even worth doing our time. But embracing the cringe means it's okay with starting messy, being awkward, not being perfect, and trusting yourself that you will get better over time. The things worth having, the sustainable, lasting things, they take time to develop, and you have to start somewhere. That somewhere is what I like to call Cringe City, okay? And you could be a member of Cringe City. We've all been part of Cringe City. And it's okay. It's not that bad there. You will live. Not too long ago, actually, I had a client who was terrified of what her friends and family would think about her YouTube channel, specifically her family. She was convinced that they would be like super, super critical. They think that she was wasting her time. She was being dumb. So she kept it a secret. But eventually someone found out about her YouTube channel and they confronted her about it. They actually reached out to her and they sent her a screenshot of her YouTube channel and said like, what is this? And of course, my client was super annoyed and embarrassed. Here's what I told her, and I want you to hear this too. When people, I don't care if it's your family, anybody, try to make you feel stupid for trying something new, it's not really about you. It's about them. They want you to stop because seeing you go after your dreams reminds them of all the things they're too scared to try themselves. They care so much about what others think that it controls every decision they make. They're too afraid to be cringy. And misery loves company, so they want to pull you back down to their level because if you make it, that means you're not one of them anymore. If this actually pans out, it means that you were right and that you're actually able to overcome your fears and do something that they're not willing to do. So what do? Set your boundaries, protect your energy, and keep being cringe anyway. Do your thing. And here's something that I personally learned the hard way. Putting yourself out there and falling in public is actually one of the most humbling and growth-inducing experiences that you can have. You realize pretty quickly that you can't care what everybody thinks because your goals are bigger than their opinions. If you're proud of what you're working towards, then every cringe moment, every time you fall flat on your face, is just data to help you get better. I've watched this happen with so many of my clients. They come to our calls wanting advice, wanting to improve, and they're willing to be vulnerable and cringe to get there. And you know what? Those are the people that I see succeed. Here's the reality. People are going to judge you no matter what you do. So you might as well get judged while you're doing something that matters to you. And when people ask me, Erika, I really want to start a YouTube channel, but how do I do it without looking dumb? Or like, how do I do it? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to look dumb. I tell them, you are going to look dumb. But start it anyways, because you've got to start somewhere. And the sooner you start and get those videos over with, the sooner you can get to the point where you're actually really good in front of the camera. You will be cringe. Don't announce it to everybody at first if that makes you feel better, but do it anyway. Be the cringe. Embrace the cringe. That cringy behavior you're so afraid of, it's literally the foundation of where you want to be tomorrow. Your future self will thank you for what you do today, for the cringiness you get into today. And look, I'm not just saying this from the sidelines. I've experienced this firsthand. When I first started my YouTube coaching journey, I did not have the experience that I have now, almost 10 years later. Sure, I had some background. I had that innate natural skill, which is what got me to that point, which is what got me interested, but nothing like what I've built since then. When I launched my business, I definitely knew it could flop. I knew that was an option. And you know what? While my first launch did not flop, fortunately it did well. I've definitely had others that did not go my way at all. I've questioned, what am I doing? Am I supposed to be doing this? I've had business launches that were duds, YouTube videos that don't get any views, moments where I was just trying hard and it just not working for me. It's definitely cringy. You think, oh, wow, I'm trying so hard, I'm not getting anywhere. If I would have let any of my flops stop me, I never would have experienced the 6-figure launches that came later. I wouldn't have built a multiple 7-figure business. That success didn't happen overnight. It came from showing up consistently, trying new things, failing spectacularly in front of people sometimes, investing in my growth, learning from my mistakes, and getting back up every single time. I've been doing this since 2018, actually longer if you count my podcast that I started way back in 2015. There's moments where I'm like, oh my God, these people are making like millions a year. I'm not doing that. I've been doing this forever. So you can get into that mindset and you can think, oh my God, this is cringy, but you got to keep going. And if you have conviction in what you're doing and this is what you want to be doing, you're aligned with it, you know what you're doing is doing good in this world, then you keep going because you are going to get those wins. I literally could not survive this long in online business without collecting some seriously embarrassing moments along the way. But here's another thing I want to point out. The cringe doesn't just happen when you're starting out. It happens at every level, beginning, middle, peak, it doesn't matter. Every time you level up, you're stepping into unfamiliar territory, and that always feels awkward at first. I've been doing a lot of the deep dives here on my YouTube channel. I talked about Susan Yara, I talked about Blogilates, Vanessa Lau. A lot of these women have up-leveled, and along that journey had many cringeworthy mistakes. They put themselves out there. They moved on from that to be able to achieve what they wanted. So new levels, new doubles, you're gonna experience this cringe, not at the beginning, not the middle, throughout your entire career. That's just part of the process. So here's what I want you to do. Go back and thank that version of yourself who was brave enough to be cringe, whether it was a year ago, 2 years ago, a couple months ago, or maybe you're about to be her for the first time. Let me know in the comments, you ever look back at your old content and cringe? Because I want you to think about how grateful you are for that person who made the decision to put herself out there and embrace the cringe. Without cringe, you never tried. And being cringy isn't just okay, it is a requirement for getting anywhere worth going. So embrace the cringe era, be cringe, pursue cringe, because on the other side of that cringe is everything you've been dreaming of. If you want my support and help and coaching with your YouTube channel, check out my YouTube bootcamp. I will put the waitlist link below. I also have a live class where I go into detail about my YouTube strategy from beginning to end that I built over 8 years of working with YouTube creators. The link for that live class is below as well. And until next time, keep shining, keep creating, most importantly, keep being you. And make sure you subscribe if you made it all the way to the end. Mwah!